afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from California. We have an athlete, a boxer who really put every time the best fights in his career. Andy Vences, thanks for joining us from home, I would say so. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just glad to be on the show and just for you taking the time to call me. It means a lot. But thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. I mean, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. I mean, I know right now the times that we're living is really tough, and I wish that I can come and do this interview in person. But we got the internet, we got the new era, the technology. So for now, I think it's the safest way to speak with everyone, most likely. But here we are. Can you tell us? You have an upcoming fight against Jono Carrol, who's one of the toughest guys that I've seen in the sports also. But hey, let's not forget that we in front of me I had the tiburon, the shark that eventually is coming with everything too. Can you tell us what's how you feel right now for this upcoming fight in your career?
Yeah. So Jono Carrol, he's a stiff fighter. He's not a walk in the park. I think a lot of people, look at this fight, but if you look at this fight on record, on paper, he has two losses. I have two losses. It's a very, very even fight, very, very 50-50 fight, when you look at it. And I prepared myself tremendously good. I know, like in Spanish, él va a venir con todo. Everyone says, I understand that. So I've been preparing very hard. I'm now overlooking John Carrol, but I think the difference here is going to be my new abilities and skills that I now possess with this new trainer that I've been training with for this whole past year. Since my last fight that I lost, I made a change in my team. I got a new trainer because I was obviously missing something. I've always worked very, very hard. But I think the difference here is going to be the game plan that we have going into the fight of how we're going to fight him. And it's going to be a great fight, though. Like, it's an awesome fight. Like, I feel like I'm done my job. I'm doing my job, and the rest is history. All I got to do is just, perform that night, and it's going to be a great fight. I mean, just records on paper, it's an unbelievable fight.
It will. It will. I definitely take up my hat off in front of you, in front of John Carroll. I met him in New York, and basically he gave us a great fight in Philly, which it was when he faced one of the Philly fighters there, and unfortunately, as he says, and he was thankful, for having this opportunity in his career. Eventually, you mentioned he's not this fight is not only walking around the park, but eventually it's a 50-50 fight. And I think this is one of the intriguing parts that most of the fight fans they know how your style will be and how his style will be. That's the Irish people, and when it comes to Irish and Mexicans, we're gonna have a massively fight fans and everything. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, hey, but for the fight fans, I mean, I would love to let them know everyone where did you picked up the nickname the shark, el tiburón in Spanish. How did it came out for you?
Oh, okay. El Tiburon, I got the name because I was living in San Jose. And San Jose, the hockey team, les dicen the Sharks hockey team. So being from San Jose in the Bay Area, and I fight very technical, and when I hurt somebody, I go after them. So that's where I got the name El Tiburón. Someone told me, hey, should be El Tiburón because you fight very nice, very smooth, and then when you hurt somebody, you go after them. Like when a shark smells blood, you go after them. So a guy in Spanish told me, hey, es cuando huele sangre es cuando vas por tu presa. And I was like, oh, I like it. And then ever since then, I kept El Tiburón being from San Jose. Y desde allí I kept the name. and I stuck with El Tiburon, and I think it's been a good fit. It matches my style. Um, and one thing I have that not a lot of fighters have, I believe that I have, is and they say this in Spanish, but this just myself along with my people. I think us Mexicans tenemos todo menos miedo. So here
Exactly.
we are, we're coming in June 19th, and just ready for a great fight, ready to put on a show.
Exactly. That's one of the fights that I encourage every boxing fan that they gotta stay tuned and check. From the bottom to all the way to the top, because in that card, I know we have Teofimo and Kambosos. But before we step right now in Kambosos, you mentioned earlier you have a new trainer, and of course I checked one of your interviews, and with all my condolences for the family, and of course prayers for you and the family that eventually lost a member, a family member, I would say, for you. How does it make that impact in your life? Because I believe the person, it was like a family for you.
Yeah, he was a manager. He was my. Yeah, the impact was. I would say it's hard. I mean, it's part of life. People have an end story. Where people are gonna pass away. So it was hard for me, but I think I just dealt with it day by day, and with time, just continuing to follow my dream and my passion, because that was his dream and passion. But the good thing is I've had a good family around me, a good father, a good mother, and people to support me. But moving forward in life, I've just been just staying busy, very busy, staying positive, and just working hard to reach my goals. But it hasn't been easy. It's been up and down ever since. But I'm still going. I'm still here.
Yeah, definitely. I bet you that it's something that you kept it as a good memory. I'm pretty sure a lot of memories from your manager. I was watching this interview, and when I heard that he left you, like, if I'm not mistaken, 10 G's, and he says, this is for your equipment, and use this money correctly. What was the reaction? What was the reaction from you to hear this news, especially when someone tells you, "Hey, I have only a few days left or a few months, and that's it." So, what was it?
Yeah, it was. Well, I think my first reaction was I just was like crying, and I couldn't, like, I didn't believe it. And
Yeah,
then when he gave me the check, like, I didn't want the money. It wasn't about the money. Like, I was just like, I want you. Like, I want you in my life. Like, I don't want the money, but he made it clear that he wasn't gonna be here, and that I needed to take it. And basically, his wife, like, they gave it to me in a way where they didn't let me return it, and pretty much I gave him a picture. I gave a hug to him, and then I was right there. I told him, hey, like, I was crying, and I told him, hey, I want a picture with you. And then he said, well, I don't look good for like a picture. And I said, hey, well, this is gonna be the last picture I have. And we both were crying,
yeah,
and we took that picture. And then he said he had a lot of words to say to a lot of his family as well. And then a couple more weeks passed, going to a month, and it happened very fast. It happened very fast, and um, it's something I won't forget, because it was a big impact in my life and my boxing career. But it's something I always think about, though.
yeah. I'm pretty sure. I mean, prayers go. My prayers goes out there for you. The God will
Thank you.
give you strength and peace and comfort, because it's hard when you lose someone like that. You don't see it as a manager. You don't see it as a somebody that you might gonna say, or people might gonna say. Let me correct myself. That's my manager. No, you see it like a family. It's like a hand. You cut a finger, you're gonna feel it. So I feel like it's most likely the same thing where you feel when you hear that news, and but you continue pursuing yourself because I believe that you're doing this for you, your family, people who surround yourself, and especially for this person that gave you this gift, and he believed in you. So, hey, I think we're gonna have a good fight. But talking about the fight, I mentioned it's intriguing fight. Your fight, women's boxing is right there also. But Teofimo Lopez is the main event, the main card. Can you tell us how do you see Teofimo going against Kambosos? Kambosos sounds and feels like he's a dangerous boxer, but hey, we already seen Teofimo's performance, so
Yeah, I feel that George Kambosos, like, don't get me wrong, I like his attitude. He's fighting for his family. He's had it the hard way. I like everything. I like his attitude. I like his mentality. Very like a warrior guy. He's going there. He's gonna take what Teofimo has. But this is the difference in boxing is that skills and abilities are hard to beat, and that guy Teofimo, I don't see anybody beating him right now. I think he's too strong, too much power, and too much knockout power. I think he's just gonna. Honestly, I think he's gonna stop the guy in 8 rounds. I don't see that fight going longer than 8 rounds. He's just too strong, too slick, too fast. But it's an awesome fight because you never can test or doubt the heart and the will of a fighter. So you don't, that's the question. But as far as Teofimo as a fighter, I think he should get past him, no problem. I don't think it's going to be a big issue.
I kind of agree with you. I seen Teofimo in person, and I've been in his fights, and he carries like you mentioned all these qualities like speed, power,
Yeah,
very slick, and
yeah,
he's young, and I think he has everything. I
yeah,
mean, hey, he's tremendous person, and I don't know if he Cambosos will come out with a different game plan, but as Teofimo mentioned in the interviews, in the past interviews, it doesn't matter what game plan you're gonna have. I mean, when the time and the ring bell, starts, that's exactly what we're gonna see who is who. So this is one of the intriguing fights, and as I mentioned, intriguing fight, you and Jono, cause hey, you both of you coming with everything 50-50 fight, and I believe whoever makes the mistake over here is gonna pay very well. It's gonna take advantage from each other. So I would
yeah. So that's the thing about Jono Carrol is that he open up a lot and he attacks and throws a lot of punches. So he's gonna be very open to get hit. So that's gonna be the difference is who makes the mistake and what happens. Um, Once those little gloves are on, it's very very different. And I think um, I have power. I have 12 knockouts. A lot of people don't talk about my power, but he will feel it. He will feel it June 19th, and hell no. It'll be different.
I guarantee that it's gonna be a tough fight for both of you, and the best man may win on that night. I would
Yeah.
say from my behalf, I always mention this inside the camera, off the camera, to every fighter because let's not forget this is a sport that you don't go and play. and
Uh,
um, and because I said this is because sometimes people think that boxing is easy. No, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's one of the beautiful sports, but it's not easy. Going there,
right,
I
right.
think we should have respect for both opponents, and as I mentioned, this is a fight that nobody has to miss it because you bring heat in this fight. Teofimo Cambosos will bring heat in this fight. The women's boxing is there too.
Right, right, right.
So what is very intriguing and talking about intriguing, there is a name right now that everyone wants to face either way. Wanna come up with a weight different weight class and jump up and say, hey, I wanna fight you, Canelo. What can you say about the career of Canelo Alvarez, the era of Canelo Alvarez?
I would say, I personally don't like Canelo. Like, I don't know, I don't like him. But as a boxer, wow, he's just an unbelievable fighter. Defense, offense. It looks like he's learning every day. Ever since his loss against Mayweather, it looks like he just got better. He got older. He got smarter. And beating Canelo, I don't see no one beating Canelo for a while as well. I mean, there's exciting fights to make, but I don't think no one's gonna beat Canelo. I think the only way you're gonna beat Canelo is by fighting him like Mayweather did, hitting and not getting hit, and having a fight like that. But to be able to do that with Canelo now is gonna be very hard because he's a lot smarter than before. Before he was too young. He was way too young. He was a kid. Um, but yeah, he's just an unbelievable boxer. Good
It,
boxer.
it is. It is. I
Great
mean,
boxer.
it is. Right now, I mean, I can say that Canelo is a easy fighter. I think he's one of the best. I consider him one of the best. Maybe as you
Yeah,
mentioned,
yeah.
maybe for the style that he brings in every fight, people don't agree and don't like it. But that's Canelo's fight and
Yeah.
style, and I think whether we liked it or not, we gotta respect it. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
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 good.
intriguing fight that eventually he will have against Caleb Plant because he's next,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah, he's gonna beat Caleb. Yeah, I don't see Caleb beating Canelo. I just feel Canelo. He doesn't. He doesn't mind if he loses the rounds. You know, 1, 2, 3. But as he gets closer, he starts landing very, very hard punches. So in boxing, it's not about winning the rounds. Like for Canelo, if he could stop you later, he don't care about the rounds. He's gonna hurt you and stop you. So um, it's gonna be interesting. It'll be a good fight for sure. I mean, very, very good fight. But I have Canelo winning that fight.
yeah. I agree with you because I do feel like Canelo is gonna win. I don't take nothing away from Caleb Plant. I know he's a good fighter. He's a champion for a reason, but I think Canelo
Yeah,
right now he's in some kind of level of boxing and skills that I don't see no one beating Canelo yet for now. So I don't know if someone will come out later, but eventually that's his era right now. And Andy, um, recently they announced Manny Pacquiao, Errol, Spence. What do you think of this? Fight that eventually everyone was like,
yeah.
"Whoa, Manny is going against the toughest." I consider Errol Spence one of the toughest welterweight champions, and it's gonna be intriguing fight also as well. What do you think about Manny Pacquiao, living legend? I would consider him.
Oh yeah, living legend. I'm going to the fight live. I'm going to that fight.
Oh, it's
So
great.
yeah, it's gonna be a remarkable fight. I think remarkable fight. I think I understand. Errol Spence, yeah, and everything, but I gotta go for the living legend. You know, I used to look up to the fights that Pacquiao had with Morales. All those guys. So like, I grew up watching Pacquiao, so I'm gonna be rooting for Pacquiao. But it's
Yeah,
a very, very good fight.
it's gonna be a good fight that a lot of fans they have to stay tuned because we gotta check what Manny brings. He mentioned in one of the quotes and says, "I have the speed, power, and I feel like I can take the win over Errol Spence." But hey, that's what makes more interesting because I think he believes in himself and Arrows know we know that eventually he's one of the toughest names in the weight division, welterweight division, as some people don't agree. But I think this is part of the boxing movement where people ruin for they going for Errol. Some of them they going for Crawford. Others going for different fighters. But that's what makes the beautiful sport of boxing. That every fight fan goes for and support one of the fighters from that they believe that they consider the best. Andy,
Yeah.
before we wrap it up with this interview, I know you have training and going to check up with the doctor and stuff like that. What message would you like to bring for fight fans all over the world? Because I know you are a pretty well-known name, and even in Mexico, because in Mexico I know you have followers too. Can you can you tell us what message would you like to give it to the fight fans?
Yeah, for all the fight fans in the world that don't know me, the ones that are gonna know me, 130 pounds. A lot of people haven't heard of me yet. Some have. June 19th, I'm gonna be crowned a new champion. Um, to all my family in Mexico, I'm gonna say this one in Spanish. Nomás les quiero mandar saludos a toda la familia de México, de Morelia, de la Ciudad de México, todos los familiares que tengo. Yo sé que tengo primos, tías, tíos allá que están. Yo sé que algunos me quieren mandar mensajes, pero a veces agarro muchos mensajes ahí en el Facebook y a veces no contesto ni estoy ahí en el Facebook porque ando bien enfocado en mi entrenamiento, pero les quiero decir gracias por el apoyo. Aquí estamos y el 19 de junio vamos a salir con la victoria si Dios quiere. And I just want to say thank you to all my support, all my people from the city, and everyone out here that's gonna tune in. Don't miss out. This is gonna be an immaculate fight card. Not only my fight, but everybody's fight.
I agree with you, Andy. I want to say thank you from my behalf and wish you nothing but the best in your career. Eventually, as I mentioned before in the interview, um, from the bottom of my heart, I want you come out safety, regardless of whatever be the outcome, because I know the
Thank you.
sport. I take seriously the sport because
Yeah.
I don't really like to criticize at all the boxers, whether the boxer winner is a winner or loses a fight. Eventually, as you mentioned, you have only two losses in your career, but you and most likely a lot of people like Oscar, Trinidad, and I can continue mentioning those people. They gave us a great fight. So in your case, it's not gonna be the exception. I know you're gonna bring in, an excitement fight, good fight, and I would say God bless you because, as I mentioned, it's a dangerous sport, but it's also entertaining, and I respect that so much, Andy. So I want to say thank you for the time and everything, and we're gonna stay tuned in your fight and the whole card that eventually that's gonna happen on the day that you're gonna perform. Thank you, Andy.
Okay, thank you so much. Gracias.
You're welcome.